This is a weekly time frame chart of Bamal Lorry, and this is March 2025. So this chart is more than 3 months old. So as per the regulations, we can discuss this chart. In this video, I want to show you the correlation between the EPS growth, the sales growth of a company, and the stock price movement of a company. Remember, in our orange trading system, we do 5 kinds of analysis: liquidity analysis, technical analysis, comparative analysis, fundamental analysis, and market analysis. Why do we do fundamental analysis? Because we want to categorize a stock into whether it's a swing trade or a positional trade. We have 12 different fundamental criteria that we look for, out of which EPS growth, EPS value, sales growth, sales value, uh, latest quarter is very important. Out of 12 fundamental criteria, if a stock meets 7, then that stock is a good candidate for a positional trade. If it meets less than 7 out of 12 criteria, then that stock could be a good candidate for a swing trade, provided the comparative analysis of that stock is very strong. Because if the fundamentals of a stock are weak, you need something to compensate for that weak fundamentals. So, which is possible with technicals and comparatives, especially comparatives. Have a look at this chart. You have this base. This is base number 2. You notice here there is a cup with handle. This is a cup, and there was a handle, and there is this yellow line I have drawn. So this is the breakout candle on the weekly time frame chart. Okay. I will remove this. Yeah. So the stock breakout. So this was in April 2024. So 22nd April 2024. The quarter ends on March 2024. So let's assume that in 22 days, the stock, the company releases its quarterly report. Okay, let's assume, okay, generally it would take like 25 to 45 days. Let's assume that the company released its report at that time. So since we are here in April 2024, let's look at March. Okay. So notice March 2024. Yeah. Yeah. See, March 2024, 66%. Why this is coming in between? Yeah. March 2024, 66% EPS growth on a sales growth of 5%. Now, this is fishy, right? Remember, in my filters, I use a minimum quarterly sales growth criteria of 10% and minimum EPS growth criteria of 18%. So this stock, if I had filtered at that time, this stock would not even have shown up in my, not even would have showed up in my filter. So that is how powerful my positional stock trading filter is. It automatically keeps you away from stocks that could be troublemakers in the future. This stock was a troublemaker. See, even if you had taken a trade here, it didn't make much money, but your stop loss was hit. Okay. So on a sales growth of minus 5%, if you have EPS growth of plus 66%, there is something fishy. Okay. There's something wrong there. I am not saying that is wrong accounting. It is possible because if you reduce your cost significantly, uh, profits can grow at that rate, but it is not very common. Okay. That is why I say if you see something like this minus 5% sales growth plus 66% EPS growth, just be careful. It is not a stock which is a good candidate for a positional trade. It could be a good candidate for a swing trade. As you can see, the stock went up from that pivot point before collapsing here. So let's measure from here. The stock went up like 21%, sorry, 20%. Good candidate for a swing trade. So As long as, see, if you notice this movement, it came till 21st of May. Till 21st of May, everything was fine. Okay, but look at June. Look at June. 11%, minus 2%, minus 3%, 2%. Now we are in single digits. Okay, here the EPS growth was in double digits till March 2024. Now, after March 2024 till 2025, this is March 2025, and here somewhere you have March 2024. So, till March 2024, everything was fine. Look at the movement of this stock. Till here, March 2024, this is March. Till that time, everything was fine because the earnings was double digit, that too in the 80s. Okay. Now that you are in single digits, that too negative. Okay, minus 2%, minus 3%. Sales are consistent with what you see uh, on the EPS growth rate table. So sales coming in single digit, that too declining. See 9%, 8%, 5%. Deceleration in the growth rate of the quarterly sales numbers, right? Not a good sign. You see latest quarter plus 5%, latest quarter plus 2%. The stock would not show up in our positional stock trading filter. In our positional stock trading filter, let me show you that. I have a bookmark here. See, this is the positional stock trading filter. You see fundamental filters. Latest quarter EPS growth 18% minimum required. Sales 10% minimum required. You look here 5%, 2%, 11%, 8%. Not a from June 2024 till March, the stock would not have met our criteria. Forget June. Even March, the stock would not have met our criteria because the sales is less than 10%. Okay. December 2023, it would have met our criteria. And look what happened after December 2023. This is December 2023. Somewhere here. So from here, see the stock has gone up. So the stock comes in our criteria just because before it starts to go up rapidly. Okay. And the stock goes away from our criteria just before it begins to fall. And that's exactly what we want, right? We want stocks that come show up in our filter just before they are about to make a strong advance. And I have proved that to you with the help of this EPS and sales growth report. Now, does this happen with every stock? No. Sometimes the market is random in nature. Sometimes you see EPS growth declining, stock going up. Sometimes you see sales growth declining, stock going up. But does that mean that always this is going to happen? No. In most of the cases, when earnings weaken, look what happened to this stock. Look at the collapse. From 321 rupees, it's down 50%. It's 150 rupees. Okay, 50% collapse in roughly maybe 7, 8 months, 6 months. 50% crash in market value. What is the reason? Single digit sales growth, negative quarterly EPS growth. Okay. I'm not even talking about earnings stability. I'm not even talking about annual EPS. I'm not even talking about annual compounded EPS growth. I'm not even talking about margins. Just looking at the quarterly EPS and the sales growth numbers, you can correlate the numbers on the sales and EPS table with the price movement on the chart. This is why fundamentals are very important. Even if you look at a swing trade, okay, if the fundamentals of the company are very weak, chances are very low that that swing trade will work. Okay, sometimes it might work because people anticipate that the fundamentals would improve, but in most cases, it is less likely to work in the long run. In the short run, you could get your double digit return in 2 to 4 weeks. That is the nature of swing trading. And in this stock also, you got that swing trade return. It was a swing trade. It cannot be a positional trade with a minus 5% sales growth. So you have to understand that. Even when the stock doesn't come into your positional stock trading criteria, it could still qualify in your swing trading criteria. You could still take the trade, but that trade will be very short lived. In the long run, the EPS growth rate and the sales growth rate matter a lot, which is clearly evident from this weekly time frame chart. I am using weekly time frame charts these days because I have done a large 50-part video series. So I hope you have gone through that series and you're familiar with weekly time frame charts. I encourage you to go through that series twice. Watch all the videos twice so that you understand how to look at a weekly time frame chart. For micromanagement, for more granularity, I will take you to the daily time frame charts uh, to find an early entry in a stock which is showing good liquidity, comparatives, technical, fundamental, and market analysis. Okay, so our orange trading system does not change. I'm just trying to show you through these examples that in the long run, the stock price will track the EPS growth and the sales growth. In the short run, you could make some gains here and there, double digit gains in 2 to 4 weeks, but that's about it. Those are short term swing trades. If you want to be in a stock for a long time, like 6 to 24 months for an ideal positional trade, you need the fundamentals to be in your favor. Okay. Thank you so much.